What's up, YouTube? Back at it again with another crazy wishlist countdown. Today we're doing my top 31 release dates for the Multiversus open beta, starting with July 1st. And now on July 1st, dude, really? What? You can't just go through the calendar and call it a wish list. You're literally just saying every day in July. Okay, well, what should I do then? I don't know. How about something important or original? Well, I know you're excited for the game, so why not just talk about stuff you want to see in it? Yeah. You know what? That's a pretty good idea. A lot better than just saying days in July. With the open beta for Multiversus right around the corner, I've been thinking a lot about things I'd like to see in the game, from characters to mechanics and features. So I made a list and I'm going to share with you guys 15 features I would love to see come to Multiversus in the future. Things I think would be nice additions, as well as things I think would be great for accessibility to the game. And if you want to support my channel and catch my future uploads, be sure to subscribe. Starting off at number 15, a feature I always appreciate when it's around and probably my most requested feature, a Hitbox Viewer in the lab. Having the option to visualize hitboxes and hurtboxes of moves and characters respectively makes practicing things like spacing and timings of moves significantly easier. It's a useful tool for all skill levels, and I would imagine people would be generally super happy to have something like that available to them without a secondary resource like mods or a dedicated wiki page. At number 14, something else I think would be generally helpful, and especially so to those who are new to the game and the platform fighter genre as a whole, a tutorial on DI or directional influence. Anyone familiar with platform fighters knows about DI, but there's a lot of interest in this game from other communities as well, as that's something that generally happens with cool IP crossovers in media. So I think something like the tutorial in Rivals of Aether to help out new players and answer questions to people who are unsure of exactly how it works in this game specifically would be a great addition to the game. For number 13, something I think would be really cool to see would be the ability to change a stage's visual style, or at the very least, the option to have skins for the basic grid style training stage. Obviously, it's nice for people to have visual indicators for their spacing in-game. A lot of top-level matches in traditional fighters end up being on grid-style training stages, and there's nothing inherently wrong with that. But it does make for a less engaging spectator experience for people who aren't hardcore fans, and the option would be nice for people who just don't care for that sort of thing in the first place and just want somewhere cool to duke it out with their friends or online. Coming in at number 12, something another free-to-play game has done in the past. The ability to give gifts, like items in the Battle Pass. I think having an option like this is always a bonus. It's nice to be able to give and receive stuff in-game with friends, and could even be an easy sort of payment option to people entering small online events in lieu of things like gift cards and things like that. Just something I think would be nice to have as an option. Going back more to the mechanical side of things, at number 11, I'd like to see a visual indicator for double jumps and triple jumps, similar to what's in the game Slap City. There's already an audio cue whenever you press jump, try to use a special move, or try to air dodge when you're out of resources, but at least having the option available would be a nice accessibility feature. At number 10, a feature I'd like to see that has a lot of practicality is an input recording feature in training mode. Being able to practice against specific setups and practicing escape routes from combos and strings is much easier solo whenever a feature like input recording is available, which would be a great option for people without consistent practice partners. For number 9, there's a feature I'd like to see from the game Rushdown Revolt. After a match in Rushdown, there are stats from the match displayed on screen such as neutrals 1 and move accuracy. It's not super important to have these sorts of statistics listed, but it would be interesting to see for 1v1s at the very least. For number 8, another feature I think isn't super important, but would be interesting to have or see is regional leaderboards. Whether it's split between areas in a region, for example in the US there could be West Coast, New England, Midwest, etc., or even just by country or continent, I think having smaller leaderboards separate from the overall ladder and character leaderboards would be a nice touch and maybe give some people a bit of a smaller goal to work towards once in a while. At number 7, something I always like to see in service-style games is community contests. Whether it's making a map, skins, art, montages, or whatever, anytime a developer really involves the whole community and not just competitors and creators, it's always really cool to see the skill and creativity of people when given the chance to shine. And for people that win these sorts of contests, it's an amazing feeling to see your work in-game or get a unique reward for the effort and time you put in. For number 6, a feature I think is pretty likely to happen, but still something I thought I should include on this list as it wasn't in the alpha, in-game tournaments and a tournament mode in custom lobbies. Just something super convenient for quickly putting together events, and things like in-game tournaments just publicly available hosted by the dev/publisher is a great and accessible way for people to find competition. And the prizes don't even have to be big. Things like gold, skins, items, or premium currency would be great payout options for these types of events. Before we get into these last 5 features I'd like to see, I just want to give a huge thank you to everyone watching. It's been a really great year for me so far, starting on this YouTube journey, and we even recently hit 100 subscribers. That's crazy. I really can't thank you all enough. Your support means the world to me, and I can't wait to continue to bring you guys content and share with you. Multiversus content isn't the only thing I'm going to be uploading, but I am super hyped for the game, and I will be making a lot of content for it. But I hope you guys like the other stuff I'm working on as well. If you made it this far in the video, be sure to leave a like. It helps out a lot, more than you probably think. And if you're new here, hit subscribe. Join the other 100 people that were cool enough to hit that big red button. Now let's get back to it. At number 5, something I think would be really cool to be able to purchase in the game: announcer packs. Yes! I am a big fan of voiceover work in general, and I think making announcer packs separate from characters or anything else would be an excellent way to represent some characters in series without having to dedicate entire teams of people to implement. And would, at least for me, make an excellent way to spend money to support the game in its development. There are countless actors I think would be awesome to have as announcers, whether as characters they've played or just themselves, and I think it would be a good way to cross-promote some other media as well. Speaking of in-game purchases, for number 4, something I would like to see is something a lot of other free-to-play live service style games have, and that's creator codes. Games like Brawl Stars and Fortnite for a long time have had codes that people could use when purchasing or spending premium currency to support their favorite creators in the scene. And I think that those are always super nice to see. It's a great way to support both development for the game and content creation for it at the same time. Not something I expect to see early on or anything like that, but definitely something I would love to see added at some point in the future. For number 3, I'd like to see something practical that hopefully is already planned on being added, and that's an in-game section or link dedicated to patch notes when updates happen. Yes, I know that at least on Steam we'll be able to check the patch notes and read devlogs if they choose to make and maintain them, but since this is a cross-platform game that's planned to be on pretty much everything but the Switch, I think it would be a huge time saver for players if there was a section in-game for people to have the ability to read through bug fixes and changes. Not something I'm really expecting day one, but definitely something I think most people would be happy to see. At number 2, a feature I think is pretty underrated in other games is a jukebox. I would love to be able to just go in game and listen to all the different songs and even be able to change which music is playing in the menus. Not the biggest deal in the world if it never happens. We can always just listen to our own music, the soundtrack to the game separately, or perhaps they'll put the soundtrack up for sale as DLC or something. But I think a jukebox feature would be a great addition to the game, even if it's something that often goes under the radar in other titles. Coming in hot at number 1, something I think would be one of the coolest features they could add: crossover skins. Crossover skins aren't something I had really given too much thought before this past week, but there's a Reddit and Twitter user by the name of Shinkiji who has been making mock-ups of a few characters in the style of DC's Green Lantern, and it really made me think of all the different possibilities. Even just thinking about strictly Warner Brothers, there are countless crossover skins that could happen, and they would all be really cool to see. And including third-party characters and franchises, just like with character picks themselves, the sky really is the limit. That's going to do it for this video, and like I said before, if you're new here, I'd appreciate if you subscribe to see what kind of content I post in the future. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, a dislike if you didn't, and leave a comment down below telling me what features you would like to see in Multiversus in the future. And as always, thanks for watching, and have a good one.